going to take more than 3 minutes because it's a whole body of constitutional law. But I'm going to boil it down for you.
Okay.
Your proposition is what I would call DEFCON 5. And it was foreseen by the framers of the Constitution because they were leading tyrannical governments at the time that were monarchies. They had no rights. In Europe, England at the time, they had a little place in London that was called Speaker's Corner, where in theory that was the only place you could exercise what would later have been known as your First Amendment rights. Because you could say whatever you wanted at a designated time and place as long as you were in Speaker's Corner that wasn't going to be flattering to the crown. I sometimes feel like we were going to have that Speaker's Corner because we end up at the point in time where a lot of our rights and our liberties are being trampled on, exactly as you said. The power and the strength of this country doesn't come from Washington. The power and the strength of this country comes from our state legislatures.
Amen.
And the reasons that it does was because it was foreseen by the 13 colonies that those were, when the Constitutional Convention was being formed, it was how were you going to create a centralized government when the very creation of the 13 colonies was so that everybody in those colonies could have their own individual rights. And then the only way that the colonies could stay together was when they had to join up and form a better union because they were getting too big to be single little entities. I don't have a problem with utilizing what the framers intended in DEFCON 5, provided that we have enough like-minded people in the legislature so that we don't get the fruits and nuts from California and the liberal Charles Schumers and all those other people in New York that don't even know what time of day it is because they couldn't care less. The lifestyles of those people, I like to call the political rich and famous, they're above all of that. So the framers saw what we were going to need to do. If we get another opportunity in the next 4 years to be able to create more conservative governorships, more conservative legislatures, then maybe you want to think about DEFCON 5. But it doesn't have to get to that point as long as we don't have the John Cornyn's in the office up there, the people from Arizona, whatever the other John is, I can't even keep all of them in mind, the Harry Reid's. As long as we can get rid of those people in that particular area of the government and let the government do in Washington what it was constitutionally designed to do, hopefully we'll never get to DEFCON 5. But if that gets to the point where we have to neuter another Obama, I'm for pulling it out and dusting off the Federalist Papers and getting right down to brass tacks.